Happy holidays, guys. And I completely understand what the meaning of these holidays are in terms of Saturnalia and everything to do with that. But remember that we celebrate Jesus Christ every single day. And that's what matters the most. I understand those things, and we'll just put that to the side for a second. We celebrate Jesus Christ every day. I've composed a lengthy article. I spent a few days writing about all the different things that I know about the Antichrist, who is Donald Trump, and that Elon Musk is a false prophet, and nothing on this earth will ever switch my mind about it. And there's some things I want to say before I read this article because it's lengthy. It's about 5,000 words. So, I say a lot of things on my channel about the Antichrist, and so I wanted to put things concretely on paper so I'm not all over the place, even though I just can't believe the times that we're in, and that you and I are actually very lucky to be in these times despite all the evil that we see all over the place. I will say this. You want to call this a ministry? I love all you guys. I love all those who are born again. Okay? I love those who are searching out God. But I want to say this, though. There's a lot of people on my videos who are they're for me and then they're against me. They're black and then they're white, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. But that's okay. I know what I see. And the most impossible things that are not just guesses, they're coming out of the actual scriptures. So when you see who appears as the Antichrist, who everyone else cannot see, because this is the big delusion. This is the lie. The veil is over people's faces, and it's unfortunate. I spent a lot of time thinking about, what is this lie? Is it about man being a woman, woman being a man? Is this about some alien deception? No, it's about who the Antichrist is, that he's a good man. He's so good, in fact, that on Christmas, he would give the Christians what he thinks that we would want, right? So he would bomb Nigeria to take out ISIS. What a good man. So if you have that kind of mind, and I'm not picking on anybody, but I was watching, actually I got that from Trump 45. I knew, listen, I agree with the things he says on his channel. He's pandering to the Christians. And a true born-again Christian will understand we are not searching for violence, even though that is justified. So I'll make it very clear. World War II was justified. There's a fine line there. But I just want to get into this. But before I start, I want to say this. I am not a prophet, but I tell you the things that are fitting Scripture. And maybe that would be a prophet, right? Any one of us that gets on here and speaks the truth of the Gospels is the true definition of a prophet. But a prophet that foretells things and those types of things, no. I tell you this, I hope that I pray that the Lord would give me visions. I pray that the Lord would. And by the things I know already, I believe the Lord has been very good to me. So I want to make it known that spending time in this subject, I think, is vital. And this is the way I've chosen to go. Because I believe that this could pull people towards Jesus Christ by seeing who the Antichrist is. That's what I think. I think maybe a lot more people could be saved that way. Some are saved through the fire, my hell video. Some are saved through this way, through that way, through different ways. You have your ways, I have my ways. And what I see and what I know, I'm going to discuss it. And to me, it's exciting. I hate seeing the evil, but it's exciting because I know the end is approaching. That is very exciting. And so I'm just going to go ahead and read this, and I hope it doesn't click out on me. How hard is it for you guys to just click over to a next video? I'll link one if it shuts off, because I have to go to my Word document to read this. It's lengthy. You'll probably be here for 40 minutes, but it's worth it. It is my full belief that Apophis, set to come on April 13th, 2029, is a biblical fulfillment of wormwood. That is my belief. And that's based off of what I see happening and all the different signs. So, let's hope this doesn't cut out. I know Bible Gateway sure does that. Shuts off my camera for some reason. I don't know why when I go to it. Okay, one of the only ones anyways, but... So the biblical Antichrist is here, and those most knowledgeable and learned cannot see it. Isn't that something, right? I've combed through hundreds and hundreds, if not in the thousands by now, trying to pick up clues of what this person says about Trump and Elon and these people, and I gain more and more knowledge through it. And what I'm finding is Trump the Antichrist? My expert opinion says, I'm a doctorate in this. Do you think that's really going to be the way of God? That you're going to be a scriptural expert and you have a doctorate in this or that? That he's only going to show them? You got to be crazy, man. That's not the way Scripture works. That's not the way God works. God is amazing. God will show his servants. So I'm going to take a bite here. I'm going to read this. Pre-tribbers, we are not looking for the Antichrist, they say. I hope you change your mind about that when you see that, pre-trib is just falling on its face. To see all these evil things. Do you know, every single person in Hollywood is doing that one eye thing and showing their colors? And there's thousands of them. Just evil. Our society is run rampant with evil. So, this is going to do a job on my abdomen while I'm trying to stay still, but the most knowledgeable theologians and Bible experts are the people who cannot see through what appears to be the most blatant and obvious man, who is fulfilling Antichrist prophecy in much more vivid detail than the scriptures describe, because we are living in it 3D. So we know a lot more than the scriptures now because we can see those things that John or Daniel or Ezekiel or Isaiah, whoever it is, could not see. Paul. This delusion is so powerful that these men cannot see the pride of the devil in front of them, and even celebrate him and excuse his persistent, putrid, and vile behavior. It's better when I write these things. It's just the time it takes, right? When Jesus said, "You shall know them by their fruits," although he may do a good thing here and there, and what do you think? Do you think he's going to come doing bad things so you know outright? He just happens to be on the top of the Epstein list. He continuously, and they protect him. But the delusion is so strong that you can't see that he's likely you know what? You see the pictures with young girls with him. Doesn't it make you mad? His fruit are lawsuits in the thousands. I kid you not. Deceit, division, rivalry, running to mischief, a narcissist, a blatant bully that causes great dissension between men and women and pits them against one another. You still can't see it. Plenty of Antichrists, as John spoke of, have come and caused great harm, but this one is different. Any one of those, Obama and all these that have come, have they ever been, this is so vast of knowledge, no man has ever. Plenty of Antichrists, as John spoke of, have come and caused great harm, but this one is different and stouter and more pompous than the rest. He commands attention wherever he goes, and it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. And based on Mary Trump, his niece, he has NPD. That is her I've also studied psychology. I passed those classes already. That's what I see. I probably shouldn't say that or do that, but by now I think you understand. He wins with both, just as long as he gets it. That's all he needs, positive or negative energy. Energy vampires. 80 years old, and he appears on the news and then an event and then has seemingly limitless energy and even writes page-long messages afterwards. The entire world is enamored with this man, but nobody can see it. Speaking with a friend today, I proposed that of all humankind, only 0.01 can identify who he is, but I fear it's much less. Bless God for telling his servants. We see the Antichrist. We should announce it repeatedly because it's a good sign for us and to prepare us for persecution. What did he say in that the first 6 months in office? So this is his first 6 months in office, and we'll do another 6, and another 6, and another 6. You know it's planned out that way, but you can't see it. Sorry, I don't mean to push on anyone. I am trying to push on you to get you to finally see just how many things. Although 666 in my belief isn't always has been understood by us as the indicator of the Antichrist, but understand in my last videos that the very first Revelation 13 papyrus, P115 in the Dead Sea Scrolls, says 616. Challenge me on that. It's my belief, so follow very closely here. It's my belief that the evil one of this earth plays Revelation out. So they know the Bible, and it's possible that they're trying to play it out. You don't think they're reading the Bible? And that both are correct, 666 and 616, in terms of the end times. I was aroused to this when I saw a channel describing this truth, and it led me to wisdom. Right? Wisdom, Revelation 13. As Revelation says, here is wisdom, calling on us to retain it. But why? Here is wisdom. The book of Proverbs 6 verse 16, which goes on to describe what God hates, matches Donald Trump to a T. So it is the truth. The first Revelation papyrus that was found was P115, and it's 616. So in Revelation 13 it says, here's the mind that has wisdom. Or this calls for wisdom, whatever it says, right? It's asking you and I to use our wisdom. Go look at it. Why is that even there? I'm not going to Rev 13 here. I'm not going to let this cut out on me. So if you go to Proverbs, where do you find wisdom in the Bible? Proverbs. These things, 6 things God hates, and 7 are abomination. Right? And then it goes on to name what those are. He meets every one of them like no man on earth does. These 6 things the Lord hates, yes. 7 are abomination to him. A proud look, yes. A lying tongue, yes. Hands that shed innocent blood, yes. A heart that devises wicked plans, yes. Feet that are swift into running evil, yes. A false witness who speaks lies, yes. He's done this his entire life. And one who sows discord among the brethren, he does it every single day. He prospers by deceit. Give me a little break here. The wise people who love the Lord, and the simple. I don't mean stupid, but innocent, I believe will understand. The meek. The Lord was clear with us that when he stated that when these things begin to happen, know it is soon at the very doors. Matthew 24. The world can see the turmoil, but not the man of sin, who is causing it all to occur. He is the one who is stirring the pot. The most common thing I see is that he is ushering in the beast system, but fail to see he is fulfilling all the scriptures and people missing it like the Pharisees did in front of their faces. There was Jesus doing miracles and signs in front of people's faces. Not to call them Pharisees either, you Pharisees who don't see it. They just can't see the delusion yet. They can't break it. If you're born again, you will guaranteed see it at one point. I'm going to get to something called a schema. Do you know what a schema is? And I've been studying this too in my health sciences. It's the way that you and I take in information. And I wrote it later, but I'll just say it quickly. It's the way that you and I take in information. So we have a cognitive schema, we have a personal schema, we have a sexual schema, a schema with everything in life. Are we able to take in more information and believe it and change our schemas, things we've been taught? So that's how brainwashing occurs. You start developing a schema, a belief. He's good, but yet he's doing evil too. You got to change that schema in your mind. And usually what changes it is overwhelming evidence. It just keeps piling up and piling up to the point where you say, oh man, it is. I had that schema. And it was changed, thank the Lord. The man who turned this world on its head with few words and prospers by a long tongue, mixed with truth, which are the ingredients to being prosperous by deception. He will fight anyone in court and win and wear you out. Until he wins at all costs. Even if you won, he will still come for you and convince others you didn't. If you win, he'll go on so much so that he'll convince others you really didn't win. Right? January 6th. This road is a long one, but please hang in there with me as I take you on a journey of undeniable signs and symbology. There's so much that I don't know what direction to take. His presidential win was an impossible victory out of 1% chance, I did my research, for his first campaign. 1%. But believe me, Satan rules this world. He brought Jesus up to a high point. I will give you all the kingdoms of this world. You don't think he can give it to Trump? Trouble with my throat. You know what it's like? Here, this scripture is being fulfilled. The 10 kings, we'll see. The wars and very specific things. And, there's not much more to be filled but a massive earthquake and a war. But yet people are like, he's ushering in, he's this or he's that, but you can't see it. I just don't understand it. God is not a God of confusion, so he's not going to confuse us about it. He's not going to confuse us about this. Speak up about this. Please make a video about this. The more people that believe this and are convicted in their heart that he is, and Elon Musk, please make a video. Count the signs, talk about the things, talk about the Lord. The Lord is going to destroy this man from the face of the earth. And you and I are going to live in eternity. We're going to be lying down in beautiful pastures and rivers. And we'll be able to talk with the Lord. We won't have pain anymore. We won't have trauma. We won't have any of that stuff. The tears in our eyes will be wiped away. It's coming soon. So let me make this clear. I see every Western leader, listen to this. The question is this, and I got this from a viewer. I got this from more than one viewer. More than a few viewers. And friends too. You guys are my friends. But I mean like people, close friends. Is it possible, because we see a lot of these leaders belong to the World Economic Forum, that it's already set up behind the scenes and it's some kind of show? Is that possible? And I haven't entertained that, okay? Because there's no way for me to certainly know about that one. But I'll tell you something. My own Prime Minister, Mark Carney, is now doing this. With his hands all the time. They all are now. In the West. Start looking around. That's all it takes. You know, Klaus Schwab got to these people when they were young. So Klaus Schwab is like 83 years old. He did it to Prince Charles. He did it to Macron. He did it to Justin Trudeau. He did it to Mark Carney. And he probably did it to Trump too. And there's more of them. Sorry guys, I'm really dehydrated. Just give me a second and I will read right in this. Alright, so let me make this clear. I see every Western leader giving the same hand signals as Donald and Musk do now. Macron, now Carney, and the others of the WF. Communists. Do you understand who these people are? They're communists who have wiped out many hundreds of thousands of businesses worldwide. Created the big wealth transfer in history with $1.8 trillion to tech companies, grocery stores, Costco's, liquor stores, but mom and pop shops and many went under and chose suicide and drugs. Wiped out like nothing. One more push would have done them in, would have done us in. And they are aware of that fact. I'm talking about every human being. When COVID hit, do you know stocks dropped like 50%? People who had investments all over the world went down like 50%. You don't think that another one of those? When Donald took power, and Donald means ruler of the world, by the way, in case you didn't know, an American-only eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, happened in 2017. It happened again in 2024, 7 years apart. And all the rapture places, I don't believe that that was anything, because a lot of the places they said actually weren't landing on that, but they landed on three major subduction zones. The one in Southern California, below it, but very close to California, the subduction zone in the Cascadia, and the New Madrid fault line. I don't know, man. When there was an eclipse, the one in 1812 happened in New Madrid. There were like 3 earthquakes. I think there were 3 and there were like 8 point something, and they changed the landscape. Then the river went backward. Making the US and what I imagine as a warning sign with the alpha sign of that eclipse. It formed an alpha on a map. People who study the stars can tell another story, and I am illiterate in those studies. The Revelation 12 sign in the heavens. He is not an usher of the Antichrist. He is the Antichrist. God is not the author of confusion, and the delusion would be him directly in your face and wouldn't bat an eye. He lies pathologically and gets away with it because he wears you out, and he speaks nonstop. Or as Chuck Missler would say, Mr. Big Mouth, before he died. Does he ever stop making fun of people or bullying someone in some fashion? It's his nature. How about that snake poem that he read? Well, you let me in. Have you read that snake poem? He's letting you know that you let in a really bad person. Just recently, yesterday actually, as I put a great amount of time in this study. Now, you do your own study in this, okay? It takes faith. Well, no, it just takes researching about this, that this really happened. Jack Parsons, a rocket engineer in the 1940s, a brilliant man. Walt Disney, I believe it was L. Ron Hubbard, and many others went to the desert and did sex rituals. the McCarthy years. Remember McCarthy, who in the government was, they said he was on a witch hunt to go after communists? Well, he went after that Jack Parsons guy because that Jack Parsons guy had been at a communist rally earlier. And anyways, he I forget what he did to him, but this is true. It says it on Wikipedia that he was catching him doing sex rituals. So they went into a desert, okay, I believe it was the Mojave Desert, and they were doing sex rituals to bring about what they call a moon child, the Antichrist incarnate. They did that. So what year did they do that? In March or April? Fact check me. 1946. April. And then Donald Trump was born on June 14th. 2 months later. Take what you will from that. I did my own study on that. I actually got it from someone's video, and then I did the research on it to find out that it's true. Look at Disney. I said Walt Disney was there. 666 signs in there. Walt Disney, the Disney sign has 666 in their thing. Jack Parsons was from NASA. NASA's deception. Take what you will from it, but it still occurred. Enough said. Do the research. So the Disney symbol is 666 and NASA means deception through the snake tongue and the meaning itself. Once you wake up to this stuff, it's hard to unsee the symbology throughout the globe, as there is no place untouched. My own capital city of Canada, so Ottawa. Think about this. When I said to myself, I'm going to start looking at symbology. This was a long time ago. I'm going to start looking at symbology to see if all these, monster drinks, 666, in the Hebrew letters that they put right on the freezer doors. You don't even know it. It says 666 right there. So if they changed it and said, please put it in English, it would read 666. I started looking at these and I decided I'm going to start with my own city. I'm going to start with my own city to look at the symbol. The very first one that I searched out, Ottawa, Canada, was the native feathers in a 666. I just it's everywhere you look. It's everywhere you look. It's just amazing. Go look at the Ottawa, Canada symbol when you're done this. That one is really blatant. Even more blatant than the World Economic Forum and Disney and Coca-Cola. So whether this is true or not, because the first papyrus was 616, so I'm just going to read this anyways. Although the Bible says 666, even if this is not the intended number, the Illuminati use it because they know the scriptures possibly better than us. They've been reading it forever, or they know it just as well as us. Don't be ignorant of the enemy. Can you remember they flashed the Revelation 12 sign on the opening of the stock market? I think it was around 2020, 2021. Why did they put that there? They want the end times brought about so they can fight Jesus Christ with an overwhelming army, just like that Space Force of Donald Trump, with their look at their badges that they have. They're Freemason. The pride of the devil is so great that he can't see he cannot win this fight. The first white horse seal depicts a man conquering without an arrow, depicting that there's no force of which we see today. He prospers in everything he does. Remember the Olympic horse, the recent Olympics? That first horse, that was the white horse of Revelation. What do you think it was? What do you think they're trying to tell us? And a worldwide mockery of our Lord. Remember the Last Supper, what they did with transvestites? That's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. You may not understand, and I don't claim to have everything right. I witnessed, woken up early by my brother to watch the Twin Towers be destroyed on September 11th, 2001. So I was asleep. My brother woke me up. I went down. Boom, I see the second plane go into the towers. I saw that live. I was around 22 or 23 years old at that time. To me, it was the beginning of the end and correlates with Revelation 9:11. When you rewatch the Twin Towers, so I don't know if I have this right, but consider it and keep it in your mind. Go to a video and look at the Twin Towers. Watch when it falls. Okay? Watch the first one and the second one fall. Consider Revelation 9:11. When you rewatch the Twin Towers from a distance, it's like a great smoke of a furnace. The opening of the bottomless pit. But make no mistake, I have no clue about the rest of the demons as it goes farther down. But we know Donald Trump is 9/11. We know this. We know he's the Antichrist. You can look on his hat. Trump 45, 47, 4 plus 5, 4 plus 7, 9/11. Those hats are satanic. MAGA. MAGA. Make America Great Again. Satanic 9/11. Go read Revelation 9:11. And I had a king over the bottomless pit. Abad Dawn. Dawn? Or Apollyon. He is Apollo. And I'll explain that. So those towers was the beginning of a new world order. There was 8 tons of thermite found in those buildings, which is demolition. Demolition. They had no business finding 8 tons, let alone 1 ton. And building 7 just fell like that. Do you know how powerful those building structure was? That the bombing didn't even take that building down because the structure of steel is so strong. The outside of those buildings are all steel on the outside. That's why the windows are so small. Man, like, that was the beginning of the New World Order. How horrible. $17 trillion worth of war to make them rich and to make the world hate us. I believe that could well be the smoke of the bottomless pit opened. I don't actually think that we're going to see the earth open up and that happen. I don't think that. I don't believe that. But those demon things, it's possible they could be like a robot coming from someone like Elon Musk. It's true. I don't know. I don't claim to know. Can sting people for 5 months. Is that by God? It appears so. So I'm not going to claim to know about that one, okay? But that first part, 9/11, they love 9/11 because they know Revelation 9/11. They know who Apollo is. They know who Apollo is. They've been waiting for this man forever. Nimrod. But the one, the final Antichrist. Keep listening further. Like a great smoke of a furnace opening in the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is everything that comes after it. Now listen to this. And those demons, I often wonder, the description of them matches a helicopter, like an Apache helicopter. It had stings in its tails, and out of its mouth brimstone, missiles. I don't know, okay? I believe they're going to be real type demons, or I do believe that. I just don't know yet. The towers were a satanic ritual. Now listen, the 2 towers are the 11. Those 2 towers, 11. 9/11. As above, so below. Do you get why they do that now? 11/11, the Baphomet? It's an NWO. It's a New World Order, no secret. That's okay if you don't follow me, and if you haven't gathered yet, they follow 9/11. It's their favorite number. If you see on camera Donald and Elon together making the Freemason signs in the same room and still can't see it, Wouldn't it be just a good question on its own without every other sign? If someone came and said to them, why are you making that sign with your hand? Never heard it once. They do it constantly. His son, Eric Trump, was caught. He was caught going like this, and then like his wife is like, stop, right? Remember that video? You're telling me that doesn't mean anything? They're telling us that they're satanic. So if you don't believe that, that's okay. You're lost right now. The signals alone are an alert to us of evil. Hollywood is in the same boat. People are so lost in this digital electronic world that hand signals in front of them are okay. It must be signed to some kind of cool people club, right? When they go like this and, yeah, the Eye of Horus, Semiramis, Nimrod, all of them, man. It's all for one reason. It's all the devil. Apollyon and Abaddon are the Antichrist, Donald Trump. Listen to this. The 9/11 memorial looks hellish. Have you seen the 9/11 memorial? So it went like this first. It went to the 11, right, as above. Then they made a memorial. It's the Islamic black cube of the bottomless pit. Go now look at the picture of the memorial that they left at 9/11. It looks evil to me. It looks like it goes down into nothingness. That could be the bottomless pit. Just entertain that thought and look at that. I don't know. But it's the same black cube Jews wear on their foreheads. And yes, I know that that's the scriptures, on your frontlets of your eyes. You should, but that black cube is not of God. It also goes below into an abyss, that black cube, okay? The one that's at the memorial, what is it? No one really knows. That smoke covered Manhattan and has killed many of lung disease and cancer. 9/11 is your favorite number for the sole reason of understanding who they are in Revelation. We sleepwalk through life, and when we are finally awoken by God, you recognize everything around you. The signs were always there. But God lifts it from us day by day when He chooses with your faith. When I started noticing all the symbology in drinks and foods and restaurants, you name it, I said to myself, I'll begin my own research on this subject. So I decided to look at my own city symbol and go, right? And just all of them, right? Sorry, I kind of covered this already. So let's get into MAGA and the Trump hats. What is their numerology? Little do you know it's a sigil magic trick of Satanism in your face, and millions wear it. Let's make America great again, right? churchofsatan.com, under hierarchy, it says MAGA is the highest priest or priestess position, the 33rd degree, top Mason. They're all one meaning. That's what they are. When you see 9/11 repeated enough and open your mind away from being offended, you will understand. So this is an old one, 2012, go look it up. Trump's old Serta commercial for beds with two sheep, with one wearing 9 and another an 11. So there it is again. Why did they choose that number? And so that was on 2012. I got to take a little break, guys, here. Gather this in my throat. Spasms. The world leaders are emanating the same signs. But our minds are so twisted from what society should be, a schema, that it's ignored and couldn't possibly be. I don't claim to know the end result, but I definitely see the commonality, and this kind of thing was not present in other generations. One of the biggest tricks right now, and I hear this, and I've heard this in dozens of people, that they say, they'll make a video and they'll say, when Bush came, you said he was this. When Obama came, you said he was this. When whoever it was. But they were not filling scripture. These guys were not filling scripture. And for that matter, pretty much all of it. All that's left to be fulfilled is for him to be in the temple and say he's God, but I'm just waiting for a war and an earthquake. That's it. So, and I'm watching what's coming of this 10-liter thing, sudden destruction. So what does the hat signify? So I'll just go through it again. Trump 45, 47. What could that ever mean? Add each one up and get what? 9/11. 4 plus 5 and 4 plus 9. 9/11. I couldn't believe my eyes when I flipped to Revelation 9/11 after witnessing all of this. God revealed to me yesterday why Trump elevates Reagan. So here's one that I found out on my own. So I was doing my research. Why Reagan? Why does he like Reagan so much? Yeah, Reagan was a good president, and he would have challenged Trump, unless he was in all this type of stuff himself. Which, listen, guys, I wouldn't doubt they're all in the same clubs, but why Reagan? And it's a pretty big deal, isn't it, that Donald Trump, for him to elevate someone must mean something big, shouldn't it? So my first thing was, what year was Ronald Reagan born? How is your biblical discernment not tingling and pulsating yet? The worthless shepherd is here and now. You don't receive me, but when he comes in his own name, you will receive. And boy, has he ever come in his own name. So what year was Ronald Reagan born? What? 1911. 9/11. Do you think he actually cares about him? I don't think he cares about anyone. He doesn't. He cares about himself. Let's make that clear. It's very clear what he is. I got to pace, guys. I still have quite a bit to go. Never has there been a man like this, and I don't mean in a good way. He was born in 1911. It troubles my soul deeply watching Donald Trump, the Antichrist, and all the experts of the Bible know nothing and prove a doctorate in the eyes of God as a piece of paper, and he will make those who think they are wise dumb. You just think of the Psalms, David. God will show it to his servants, not MIT professors. The wicked will do wickedly and shall not understand. How could $18 trillion spent on the war suddenly switch up on the veterans, by the way? 20 of them are dying every day. Do you know 20 die by suicide every day in the military? Every single day? Those people should be honored in some way. But no, what do? The very people who hate them, they bring them into their neighborhoods, unvetted. And you don't think there's an Antichrist agenda here? You should see my country. You should see my country. So how could $18 trillion was spent on the war suddenly switch up, dastardly sending those who hate us in these war-torn countries to our very neighborhoods and every Western country, and cause our crime rates to rise exponentially and rape in untold numbers? Because shut up, right? Getting a lot of spasms now. Nobody understands we are now in a state of communism, a different look. So most of the Western countries, yes. You can say whatever you want about the states, you have a dictator. Make no mistake, I believe through my own research that Russia and China flooded our institutions with communists to change the youth, and now look. They could not win militarily, so they simply waited 40 years with careful implementation and Western societal tolerance and weakness, as you see these mosques being built, as you see this day. They know how to leverage our tolerance. They're evil. It's called communism. Albert Pike's letter to Mazzini explains why a race war of Islam and Christianity, he wrote this in the 1800s, displayed in the British Museum, then taken away and denied its existence, even though there are pictures of that letter. He was the top 33rd degree Mason, but let's not kid ourselves. That goes to Nimrod and Babel. This is just the devil. Let's just call it the devil. Let's not call it all these Milcom and Molech. It's just the devil. The only Confederate soldier, Albert Pike, to stand outside in Washington as a statue. Crazy, eh? He was a Confederate, what was he? Was he a colonel? I don't know. I'd have to look again. I didn't write that down. So that should tell you something. So on that hat says another thing. So there's 9/11. So the trick in that, MAGA, showing you that they're Satanists. That's a top position, priest, priestess. But it's also showing you the beast that was, is not, and yet is. And he won again by impossible odds. So the beast that was, Trump 45, is not, Biden got in, but yet is, 47. So he won by impossible odds. He lost it and regained it in another impossible victory. It was meant to be, though. That is a fulfillment because he is Satan incarnate. Like Christ was of God the Father, he is the devil. He has the pride to match it. I am the chosen one, right? I am the chosen one. Nobody can do this or that. I alone can solve this war in one day. Did it happen? No. Why the migrants? A war. It's not about jobs. Or so many of them are unvetted for talent. So many of them just don't have talent. They're just bringing them in. And any complaints are swiftly called racist. Not having kids is a lie to bring people in, because if you remove those people, that brings in prosperity, and they've moved factories out. Listen, this is just we need our factories back to be prosperous, but the reality is when you remove those people, you become richer, people want to have kids. That is the reality, but they'll twist you about that. Our systems are being choked. The Twin Towers, other than Scripture fulfilled, was a means to an end, to bring about a major war of Islam and to bring the digital ID, to have a reason to bring in order. You're seeing that happen. We're bringing it in because we can't control, as they're saying in the UK. To bring in order, as the British claims, is a real reason, but the Royal Navy has no power to stop paper boats. This will not end well and will spread rapidly, as we see it happening. Don't be foolish. We know they tested these pilot studies. Digital ID. More than 2 years ago in over 130 countries. They say something in the media and test our reactions constantly. We have full-on communism, but nobody takes it to heart, except the vexed spirits of the elect, with every ideology under the sun. How about our kids? They're being sacrificed by Hollywood and our dignitaries. An invisible veil of protection is being removed, and Hollywood elites love the missing eye of Horus and sports figures, which is present on the dollar bill. And that bill explains a new world order, Novus Ordo Seclorum, which Musk had on his jacket in large letters. A new world order. It's getting very tough for me to talk. Music ceremonies and movies are all alike, in fact, every one of them now. Or what about that one in Germany when they raise a huge Satan thing? Like half the stadium is in on it. The world has fallen away, and not only the faith. Who are these people? And have they all been compromised sexually? In Hollywood, all these types of people. Just ask Diddy, or should I call him Sean? They're going to release that guy soon. You watch. They're demanding it now. Or what about Ghislaine Maxwell? Can't understand the times we're in. The Trump had us, so I said that. It's unmistakable. These are world leaders beginning to do. Trump Tower is a Baal worship temple. Take a good look at that building. I know through my own research how Solomon's 666 gold talents are associated with Trump. So we ever wonder, why did the Bible show us 666 by Solomon's gold? And you don't hear much about that, do you? Through my own research, I connect it to Donald Trump's building. We know he's 666. Trump Tower is a Baal worship temple. I know through my own research how Solomon's 666 gold talents are associated with Trump by looking at his apartment. Listen closely if you've never heard this before. His walls are all gold paneled, and his toilet is pure gold. His toilet alone is $12 million. And the rest, so the whole thing of gold is $100 million. That certainly is his apartment. $100 million. Solomon's number and richness do connect to this because those who have wisdom understand what that is. 666 is connected somehow because of the seriousness of that number. It points to Trump Tower. The building's height is 666 feet tall. He lives on floor 66. So that's the main floor, 66 and I think 66 to 68. His major prize is the 66th floor. That's where most of his stuff is on. He has 2 pillars of Baal. So you still don't understand who this person is? Go look at his room. Go look at his room. And I'd put it as a thumbnail, but I don't know if I get as many people watching if I put that. There are the 2 pillars of Baal in his main room. Between those, right in the middle, perfectly in the middle. So he's got the 2 pillars of Baal, and in the middle, he's got that big painting of Apollo on chariots. Right in the middle. You still don't understand who he is. He's telling you, I am Apollo. When I read Revelation 9, the key that was given to him and the smoke of the furnace blocked the sun, I wondered if it was the Twin Towers. I am simply following clues. Beginning on floor 6, beginning on the 6th floor. Why the 6? Because he's 666. He's telling you who is the 666. Other than all those other clues I gave you, he lives on the 66th floor. His building is 666 feet tall. And beginning on the 6th floor, across 6, up 6, and out 6, 666, he has the hexagram. Right, he's got the as above, so below triangle, but it's pointing downward. There's much more to the meaning of that, but, and it's big. It's 6 floors wide, out, and height. He's telling you who he is. I don't know how people weren't pointing this out ever since 1980. It's always been there. So how in the world can a practicing student of Scripture miss this? How? In his apartment is marble that is made so shiny like a mirror, below and above. Do research. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And he's got the statue of Mercedes. I hear talk in Christian circles whether our world can be turned around. I am not a pessimist, no. But no, it will not occur at this late time. Save yourself and put trust and faith in Jesus Christ. The most obvious signs are the ones easily dismissed. The head wound of Revelation 13 is not a power or historical leader, or power because it was just fulfilled. This deceiver wins every battle, apparently, and God knows how the shooter missed. I have no idea whether it was set up because of the distance involved and that man did have some practice. I believe it was at the range. The police that day, so I watched the video before I made this. The man said, I kept telling the police were right beside me, there's a shooter on the building. 2 or 3 minutes, they wouldn't go. And then we heard everyone in the building that was up, that had a view over that roof, did nothing. Pardon me, I got to take a little bit of, I just don't know. If you don't understand what I'm saying in here, if you don't get any of this and put it together, listen, I pray for you, but how much more could you ever want? How much more could a person ever want in symbology and in signs? And in the conduct of the way he is. He is a divider. He's a divider. Proverbs 6:16. Read the things that God hates. He is that man. Man, I don't know how much more I have here, but the police that day wouldn't listen for over 3 full minutes while a man told them to shoot her on the roof, and they didn't even go to Trump. They should have rushed to Trump. Everything went wrong that day. If it was set up, that would be to get you to vote for him and to follow him more. Nothing was right. He was shot, and I know a YouTube channel that is, oh man, I found a YouTube channel 10 years old. And the man saying, he doesn't believe, he's not a Christian. I don't know what, maybe Islam? 10 years ago, he is saying, I'll try to leave this in the description box, you find it. I'm having a lot of time with my hard time with my throat. It's like dystonia. A 10-year-old YouTube channel doesn't believe in what we do, but he believes Revelation 13. He believes, he says in his thing, that they know what Revelation is, they know the Bible, and that they play the Bible out. I believe we can't possibly know the whole thing. He said there is going to be a head wound. This was a decade ago. There's going to be a dead wound. He says, I don't know how it's going to happen, but Donald Trump is going to end up with a head wound. Why didn't they glorify that guy? But Brandon Biggs gets 600,000 subscribers. And his prophecy was wrong. I don't know. There's people still talking about how it was right, but it was wrong. He said it went by his ear and it didn't hit him. But it did, supposedly, or whatever it was that happened. Someone 10 years ago was saying there's going to be a head wound. Now, I know the order of things in Revelation 13, a large part. I long for revelations from God. The beast that was, so I went over that. Actually, I'll read that again. The beast that was, 45, is not 46 Biden, and yet is 47 Trump, was campaigning with the false prophet Elon Musk. They both make the same hand signals and both worship Satan. After Trump's head wound, the world marveled after Trump. And Musk was on the campaign trail with him on the stage. He was rallying the crowd and they were going nuts. Do you remember that? He was rallying. Listen closely. The beast that was wounded but yet lived, the false prophet, followed him and made the world worship the first beast that was wounded but yet lived. Do you see? He owns everything. X. Satanic. That's a hexagram. As above, so below. Freemason, 1111. X. Go look at the X symbol. It's four lines. Go look at those 4 lines. It's this. 1111. Tesla, Grok, SpaceX, Neuralink. And he's not a good person as supposed. He does the things that he says are bad. He swings with each new left or right paradigm. He makes the world worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he does those miracles like Musk does, even making fire come down from heaven in the sight of men. And who else in Revelation 13. The beast, the first and the second, together, watching rockets coming down from heaven in the sight of the beast. That's what it says will happen. He does those miracles in the sight of the beast, who was injured, but yet lived. It fits like a glove. It fits 55 gloves, man. Like, it's just unreal. Do you know any single person who can make fire come down from heaven? So it's quite clear it's a person. It's one person. Do you know anyone on earth who has that power? Let alone to do it in the sight of the first beast? Because it implies not a country, but a man. This is a significant portion of Revelation 13 fulfilled. And now we wait for the mark. I often wonder what Musk really has up his sleeve, like robot armies. His Teslas are everywhere, so we know he has the potential. He has 2 horns like a lamb and speaks like a dragon. The lamb's horns are Tesla and that Halloween costume, the Baphomet. Known by this massive stock, I believe that John saw Tesla, or he saw him in his Halloween costume. Because Elon Musk is known by Tesla. And Tesla, if you look at the symbol, is the Baphomet. 2 horns like a lamb, but he speaks like a dragon. Upside down cross on that thing, man. That costume that he wore. It wasn't a pretend costume. Who do you think these people are? That was, to get that costume, he had to get it off the churchofsatan.com. Pardon me. It's getting very tough for me today. It's just the length of this. He shall make truth fall to the ground. He wears everyone out, speaks deceitful lies with truth, and people still follow at his heels. Is this man not the top suspect of the Epstein files? We know they excuse him. Even the administration comes out. We know the reason why, but people will not come to terms with their schemas. We are protecting the worst offense in God's eyes. You know exactly what I mean. I just finished my study on sexual assault on children, so I just passed that class. And it made me feel sick for an entire week. Because I had to, man, it wasn't good. Best friends with Epstein for a decade. He was best friends with Epstein for a decade. They loved one another and repeatedly, I don't mean real love, and repeatedly was at the island, were on the planes. So why do you give him a pass? He speaks of his own daughter. On a show I saw this. I would date her. And what do you have in common? They said, what do you have in common with his daughter on a talk show? And he said, sex. If you support him, you support that. God sends a delusion to those who fail to love the truth over men and the world, but there is still hope. He is the opposite of Jesus Christ in every single category. Vengeful, vile, ped. You don't think so by now? This is what the whole news is saying. Not needing forgiveness, a bully to the utmost, to a whole nother level. We see him with pictures with young girls, okay? He sues everyone he deems a threat. Jesus said, you don't accept me, but when he comes, meaning the man of sin, you will accept him in his own name. And who is searched more than this vile beast? He is the most searched man. Speaking of his own name, the Jews have an approval rating of 99% for Trump, and they believe he is their Messiah. You should look into this. That's no small thing. This is not a joke or overstatement. They gave him a crown of silver in 2023 and called him the Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9, Prince of Peace, is our real Messiah and King. He taxes you, but gives tax breaks to the ones who he claims not to, the mega wealthy, so they can benefit him. Nothing he promised, like lowering prices of most goods and affordability, is a lie. It at least was for a long period of time. You tell me, if you live in the States. I've seen videos. He speaks lies and people follow him even when they know that. For heaven's sake, the entire Christian eschatology students and believers have waited 2,000 years for Daniel 9 verse 27 to occur, and it has been fulfilled by 99%. That's what it was on October 13th, 25. Did you miss it? Peace and Safety 2025, El Sheikh, Egypt. They all signed. They just have to strengthen it by signing Saudi Arabia and the rest. They know it's there. They made the major signing. Go look at the videos, go look at the pictures. Peace 2025. He and Jared, his son-in-law, who is not, I repeat, not the Antichrist, are both the architects of that covenant with many, the Abraham Accords, I mean. How much more do you need to start buying into this? And he moved the embassy to Jerusalem. He also announced 10 leaders from it, probably and most likely the 10 kings of Revelation. So what I'm saying is true. Or else, why else would this have come about? There's going to be 10 leaders of some sort. We know about this. You and I are just waiting for the details. Is this a 7-year covenant? We're waiting for that. And is it going to be... It's all there. It's all there. They have all those puzzle pieces in place, man. So no kings can come without it being signed, but understand that more people can still enter. More countries can enter, but there's only going to be 10 leaders, so he says. And I don't want to explain Apophis again because I need a rest in my throat. This man is not natural. He has superhuman powers to deceive and win. He makes products. He sanctions them to be made. What about his trading cards? He has all the gods, and he is on the horses of Revelation on it. Or what about his gold foil bill with the 666 on the bottom right corner? The Omen was made around his life. The movie The Omen explained Damien Thorne. So it's just a movie that represents his life. He grew up in a military academy. So does Damien Thorne, and both their names are DT. He was born on a rare total lunar eclipse when he took office closely after the eclipses occurred, marking only the United States. He bullies those who are not on his side, and they side with him. It's uncanny to watch and what people support. Some of the people that are around him, I just can't... Man, there's more. There's more here. Just let me take a break in my voice. It really is that bad. Holy man. I have dysphonia of my throat. It's muscle tension dysphonia, but it's from my lower esophageal sphincter. It squeezes down there, so it causes esophageal spasms to go up through there. I don't know the real cause. All of the fake Biden blunders, and many of them, okay? Let's just open the border to 20 million people. Just leave Afghanistan without a plan and so on. Was to piss the Americans off so much that you would fall into the lap of the man you felt would get revenge. You know, and the world was also wanting it too. How is Biden's speech now? It's better, isn't it? Was he not in total collapse? He dictates and does not follow laws with illegal executive orders. Like the White House West or East Wing totally destroyed for what? $300 million for the for his ballroom, and he comes out and says it's not for 1,000 people, but it's for 999 people to fit in there. You don't see what he's doing? Sigil reverse magic. The floors are Freemason checkerboards. Go look at the plans of the new bail room. Did you get it? He's calling it a ballroom. There it is again. Bail room. I don't know how else to convince people that this is true. He says peace and safety and made the covenant in 2025, October 13th. His son-in-law purchased 666 Pennsylvania Avenue, so he's family, long ago for 600 million times 600 million, $1.8 billion. For the priciest real estate deal to that time, and maybe even still. People were wondering why they're paying this much for a building, small building. Do you notice something strange, that when he came down from the elevator in 2016, that the world has never been on the same course again? He was the one who sanctioned Operation Warp Speed, which, well, you can make your own judgments. I got myocarditis from Moderna, by the way, and a permanent gallbladder disorder. I find it stunning that every expert of the scriptures missed the basic principles of who this man is. And he did it all himself. No one else can do it, right? Go on Vice, go look up Donald Trump. I can do this, I can do that. And you'll find Vice. I'll probably put it in this one again. I'll try to put 2 of them in there. I don't know if I can find that other one, but nobody can do what I can do. I can make chocolate chip cookies better than you. No one knows driveways like I do. I've seen many more than you have. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. He wrestled his own dead brother's daughter out of his brother's inheritance. I mean, how sick is that? Can you imagine that? Mary Trump is her name, and that reminds me, Trump's mother's name was Mary, and his grandmother Elizabeth Christ. Of all names, a mockery of Jesus Christ and John the Baptist in the womb. Washington is New Rome, a mirror of the buildings, and what the original forefathers described in words as New Rome. His family lineage is from the area of Germany where the Assyrians settled long ago. I spend time combing through many videos on YouTube of believers who see this, and I watch them to find new clues, and I add them to a repertoire. It's all in my mind. The beast that is the 8th, right, but he's of the 7th, is America, coming from Britain. It's easy to distinguish because in John's time, John said, is now, I can't get into it because of my throat, but in Revelation where it says, and now is the 6th, meaning where John was, it was Rome, was the power at the time. There would be a 7th and an 8th, and the 8th would be the 7th. The one that came after was Britain. Britain ruled much of the world, and the United States came from Britain and is the most powerful nation to ever exist, with the Antichrist at the helm of control. The man of perdition is the epitome of what is wrong with this world. Jesus took the sins of us all, and Trump carries them in a different manner by acting upon them all. He robbed God by selling the Bible in that church parking lot, holding it upside down, and he tear gassed the people out of that parking lot. He made over $1 million by that. And he breaks Revelation, I believe, 20 by adding the Constitution to it. He says, God says, anyone that adds to this book, I will add the plagues of this book. The elders of the church, there may be 20 of them, stood in a parking lot and called him after he did that. They called out. It was like a black church. There was one white priest or pastor, and they're all calling him out. It was really good. I played it to you. It seems I look right and left, and there it is. Another sign pointing to him. Let God reveal it to us in the last days on this cursed land. Waiting for New Jerusalem, but the millennial kingdom first for 1,000 years. But the question is, what now? We keep our faith and watch, and we be sober. He is no normal man. We keep watch for the 10 kings. In fact, that's what will be with the Gaza Peace Board. That's what I believe. I don't think that's a coincidence. We know they have 10 leaders already planned, or so he said. You never know what stage this Hegelian dialect is at. It's never boring, is it? Who is for who and who knows what, like a game. Personally, what I am waiting for as things move quickly today is laws on speech and the persecution of the church. It's coming. If Trump knew he had total power, he would ditch the Christians as they are a vehicle for a means to an end. We know who he is and worships. So this is where I say, do you know what a schema is? I'm studying this in addictions counseling. They are theories, and this is true. We all believe in something, have our own views and belief systems. Everyone learns differently and accept true information. And to accept true information from a man who believed was good, they lack the capacity to take new true information that he is anything but because of their previous schema. It's like a rigid built-in structure. You have a schema of who someone is, right? Or what this is. Is this a dog or a horse? Right? It's this size, so it must be this. You understand? Like, some people learn quicker than others, and some will never understand new information, even if it's in their face in volume. It took me a while too, but one day I saw it, and I saw it on Vice. I am better than you. I spoke about that, and it changed what I thought. It changed everything. I love the truth. I love the Spirit of God. And it's my job to warn you about the last Antichrist, the Antichrist who stands in place of Jesus Christ on this earth. I can picture soon enough him taking total control because of news about young girls and shutting them up for good. Stay the course. Read the scriptures, our daily bread. I know full well that there are many other signs, but I can't speak forever. It's all right, so it's 5,000 words. Besides the 10 rulers or kings we wait for, not to mention the covenant we saw signed on October 13th, 25. Peace conference, which falls exactly 3.5 years before Apophis, is set to come at what they say is 19,000 miles from our Earth. This thing is a massive asteroid, 20 million tons, which I believe is a biblical fulfillment of Wormwood. So did Tom Horn. It's thanks to him that I've come to that conclusion. My voice is going to go. Give me a sec. But as I said before, even without Tom Horn saying that, I just learned it earlier. I would have known because of all the other signs. What I'm waiting for now is so many scriptures out of the way. War, a big earthquake, Seal 6, right? There are people crying out already. Lord, when are you going to get revenge for us, for you? They're so evil, man, and this earth is no longer good anymore. I blame it on electronics. None of this could have happened without electronics. The internet, it's a cancer. It really is. And then people use is the cup half full or half empty? It's none of those. It's garbage. So you see the headlines filled with scary scenarios, and one of these will spark a global war. So consider this peace now and be prepared. The Mark II, obviously, but we shall witness the scriptures unfold. To us, the Bible unfolded quickly when we read the Gospels and epistles, but it took place. Sorry, what am I trying to say here? To us, when we read the Gospels, it looks like it unfolds quickly, right? But it unfolded from the time that John the Baptist, and not including the rest of the Old Testament, but the New Testament. To us, we could read all of that in one day, but realize that it happened over a period of, I don't know, say 4 years or something. John the Baptist came, I don't know what the period of John the Baptist was. In the same way, we have to wait for it to unfold, and we see I want to call it the most awesome of things because it's from God, because God told us about these things that they would happen. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something out of this. Boy, man, hour and 20 minutes has been so far. I'm just going to cut it off now because I have some things to do. God bless. I love you all. And you know what I said? Remember what I said about a schema. Go look up what a schema is. You can hear the trouble I'm having. Let's say that, and this is a whole separate video about Donald Trump and not knowing who the Antichrist is. Don't take my idea. Oh, go ahead, take my idea. Schema. The schema of Donald Trump. So many people have the belief, so he may present as good and do some good things. So in your mind, you start building like a schema of Donald Trump. He's good. He's things like this. He's good looking. I'm not saying he's good looking, but you start building all these beliefs and you start matching them up with maybe people that you've seen before and you think he's good. And you may see this type of thing. You may say, oh yeah, he's good in the media. He's very entertaining and stuff. But when he starts to do bad things or when he starts bullying people, you're willing to accept it. And your schema is telling you that it's good. He's good. But when the bad really starts to outweigh it, I mean, just think about that. Your schema is wrong. Because I know people who are watching this who don't believe me. God bless everyone. Happy holidays. I know it's a pagan holiday, but celebrate Jesus Christ. We celebrate Jesus Christ all the time. Have a good time. God bless. Happy holidays.